Now, I know some of you hear psychological thriller and think, oh, I don't want to be confused for 2 hours. But let me stop you right there, lads, all right? This isn't confusing. It's a very, very intelligent movie. It's not trying to make you feel stupid. It's trying to make you feel alive. And if you're one of these people who says, I don't like movies where I have to think, Peter, man, what the hell, you know? I got news for you. Your brain needs this without a workout. And Shutter Island doesn't talk down to you. It invites you to the party, then turns the lights off, spins you around, and whispers, figure it out, lad. And that's the conflict. You think you're watching one kind of film, but it's secretly another. And when that twist hits, and don't worry, no spoilers here, okay? It doesn't just change the story, it changes how you saw every single minute of this movie. Okay, let's give a bit of background here. Let's paint the scene here. We're in 1954. The vibe, moody, very stormy, black and white energy, but with color kind of so rich it feels like it's hiding something. And DiCaprio, brilliant, a US Marshal sent to investigate the disappearance of a patient from what's it called, Ashcliffe Hospital, right? A mental asylum, basically, that's for the criminally insane. And then you've got Mark Ruffalo, his partner, quiet, very observant, very sharp. But like everything in the film, nothing is as it seems. And the hospital itself is on an island. Yep, of course, Shutter Island. Surrounded by cliffs, wild seas, and more locked doors than a dodgy nightclub. Straight away you're thinking, well, this is a bit much, isn't it? And that's exactly the point. Scorsese creates this heightened world where you feel like something's off. And that's the whole point. And that's the brilliance of Martin Scorsese too, man, you know? But you don't know what. That tension, that's the engine that drives the film. And here's the thing. This is DiCaprio before his Oscar win. This is him deep in a character, not a pretty boy, not a heartthrob, but a man on the verge of truth, madness, something else entirely. Now, from the minute the investigation starts, lads, you feel the paranoia creeping into your skin here. I mean, interviews with the staff, they kind of feel staged. The patients, they act weird. There's talk of secret experiments. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's not just a detective, he's got his own baggage. He's got a dead wife. This isn't giving anything away, by the way, all right? Flashbacks, dreams that bleed into reality. You're watching him unravel, and you're not sure if it's justified or it's just goddamn tragic. Scorsese, the genius bastard. He keeps feeding you clues, breadcrumbs, just enough to keep you going. Moments that make you think, hang on, is he crazy? Or is this whole light gaslighting this guy? The visuals are dripping with tension, rain, lighting, locked wards, everything's symbolic, even the silences. It's a film that rewards paying attention. But here's the magic, lads. You could watch it twice and get totally two different stories, especially after the first time because, well, you've seen it and now you know what to kind of look for clues. But then you're still left completely baffled. You still just can't figure this out. And you watch it for the first time, confused, scared, determined. You watch it the second time, you know everything, and then suddenly the film is full of hidden truths. You know those kind of movies? And that's why it's not just good, lads. It's masterful. And no, lads, I'm not going to spoil the ending, like I said, because if I did, I'd be robbing you of one of the greatest what the F in modern cinema. Really. And what I will say is this. When it hits you, you sit there frozen, kind of replacing everything, right? You know, you look at the scenes, the dialogue, the dreams, then you start thinking about the characters, right? Where, you know, was it all staged when they're talking about this guy and that guy? And then suddenly the film, it's not about a case anymore. It's actually about identity and memory, guilt, trauma. It becomes personal because you realize you're not just watching someone lose his mind. You're watching a man actually fight for his mind. And that's when Shutter Island becomes something more of a movie. It becomes a mirror. And I dare you to ask, what parts of our stories have we locked away? You know, I'm always going on about self-awareness. And, you know, what am I refusing to see? I mean, that sounds heavy, right? Maybe, but that's the beauty of it. It hits you emotionally and it earns it. So, should you watch Shutter Island? Absolutely no question. Not tomorrow, not next week. Get it on tonight, lads. And I hope I've given you enough on the podcast to whip these 3 movies into shape now and get them on this weekend or whenever, even in one binging, watching night of movies. You don't need a film degree. You don't get Scorsese. You just need to be alive and have a brain. And because this movie doesn't care about trends on TikTok or what's cool, it's a logical masterpiece. It'll scare you a little, probably. Only in the way kind of truth can scare you. It'll shock you, mess with you, and leave you kind of gobsmacked. And that's what movies should do. That's what great movies should do. And pour yourself a drink. Stick on the old airplane mode on the phone. That's what I'd say. Turn off the Wi-Fi. Just take a break from reality and get for a story that it'll live in your head rent-free forever. Shutter Island, lads. Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Ruffalo, Martin effing Scorsese. You won't be looking at this movie ever again. And if you really take this on board, maybe you'll start to think to yourself, man, I can relate to this one here. No, go. Watch it. And, it didn't get nominated or win Oscars, unfortunately. Was it in that type of pedigree? I wouldn't say so. Okay, even though you do have the Oscar-winning Martin Scorsese, you do have the Oscar-winning Leonardo DiCaprio, you do have the Oscar-nominated Mark Ruffalo. 3 amazing actors. And of course, there's others, right? There's other brilliant, brilliant movie stars in this. Okay? And go watch it. And when you're done, come back here because we got a lot to unpack, lads.
Peter.
Wow.